Fluid AR movement, shell eject next, and we back grooving precise, exact groupings, pressure made, fine tuning, wrong place. Life don't like rise, truth in between lies, indirect verses, ride with unique purpose. One with green bean for nice service, cocoa buttercream, and she play dirty. Could link if the chain works. All district with the play all pro, stun out holy, fluid AR movement, shell eject, then we back grooving precise, exact groupings, pressure made, fine tuning, wrong place. Life don't like losing, sharks, guppies, and tuna. Hush puppet maneuver, you on the way, so don't shoot that ball in my hands. Only trust breeze the force, so take if it isn't me. Dream never end if you wasn't sleep. You the type to thing, navigation gon' get you there. I'm GPS, blueprint, you a block, get bent square. I'm the CVS, and the doctor sent your ass there. Horns feel like bricks in the shit. Just hammers, ammos, and wrenches. 5.56 green tips in the.
What's up, man?
What's going on? Chris, Dave from Trigon. A lovely Saturday afternoon.
Yep. Probably not by the time you guys are seeing this.
Yeah, you guys will probably see this on a different day, but
This is Kirby. Apparently she want to be in the video. But yeah, yep. Hopefully everybody's had a good weekend.
so today's video, if you can't guess from the intro, we are going to be. You want?
That's probably showing up on the
Oh
sound.
yeah, she definitely. They got full on nose blasted. If you can't guess from the intro, today's video is going to be on the KP-9. Obviously, you could tell in the video this is a post-sample machine gun. We are going to shoot it like that because it's fun and cool, but our rankings are going to be as though it was not a machine gun. So just for clarity there, the shootability, the availability, that sort of stuff is going to be ranked as though it's a regular KP-9, which it is.
Yeah.
And honestly, you should be able to buy one that's full auto, but you can't because unconstitutional laws passed by our friends, the government. So we will shout out to you, government.
We do carry and sell KUSA products.
Yeah.
These are all manufactured in the United States by KUSA, Kalashnikov USA. Availability, well, we'll get into that, but if it's something that interests you guys and you want a civilian version, please come and talk to us. We'll get into why you might be interested in that as we go down the list. But there's some cool things that come along with owning one of these.
All right, let's kick it off. So first category is accuracy. Now, obviously in the subgun world, we're ranking accuracy a little differently. If you guys didn't watch the P90 video, go back and watch that. We kind of go into depth a little bit more on how we're ranking accuracy for a subgun. Yep. But the short version is how many shots can you get on a silhouette-sized target relatively quickly. This gun is pretty good at that. It's definitely not as easy to do as you would think. It does have a little bit more vertical rise than I thought it would have. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
So I did too. I think one thing we need to mention, because this is a post-dealer sample machine gun, of course the first thing that we did to it was add a short stroke kit from Rifle Dynamics, so that, you know, adds the cyclic rate of like 30+%. So I think it probably would be an 8, looking at a lot of the content that the standard KP9s have been used to get or have been used to create. It does have a harsh recoil impulse, but it's very quick. So I think without that short stroke system, it probably would have been.
It would slow it down enough, I think. It would definitely be easier to manage. It's just so fast. We don't know the fire rate right offhand. We're guessing it's got to be around 1,000, 11. I mean, it's fast. You'll see in the video. But
but we cut the action travel in half.
Easily.
It's I think it would be better without that. But you know, the point of it was it's a demo gun.
Yeah, it's fun to shoot. Fun to shoot fast with your friends. Ergonomics. It's an AK. AK ergonomics are kind of stupid, in my opinion. I just, times have changed. Ergonomics of the AK have not. I gave it a 4 out of 10. It's an AK. It runs exactly like an AK. It feels like an AK. I'm not a big AK fan. I don't hate AKs. I own AKs. You can't make the argument that AKs are incredibly ergonomic. And if you try to make that argument, you're wrong. So I gave it a 4.
Yeah, it's funny. I did too. I gave it some thought, and it would have been a 2, except for if you know how to run an AK, you're already set up to run this. But it's just plain not great. Doesn't matter you're left or right-handed. The thing is an AK. You get one charging lever, you get one safety selector, you get a basically terrible trigger, and I mean that's pretty much what you got.
Shootability, I gave it a 7 because it's a super fun gun to shoot. And all 9mm subguns, in my opinion, are really fun to shoot. I really, really enjoy them. This one's heavy enough that, like on semi-automatic, it doesn't bounce around a lot. That's why I think with a slower fire rate, it'd probably be a little bit more controllable. But
yeah, and one thing we didn't do for the video that we probably should have is run it unsuppressed to see if that made a difference to the cyclic rate and or the muzzle rise.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, that's why we did the video and not you. So now you can go and try. Buy yourself a post sample and have fun. So I'm at a 7 out of 10. I don't think that's too high of a rating. I don't know of very many 9mm subguns that would score less than that, honestly, other than maybe like a really terribly built AR-9. So
true. Yep. It was an 8 for me. Again, it's tough because, like Chris said, we're trying to rate this in the series as though it were the semi-auto version. So it's hard to push out of your head how much fun that thing is to shoot. But I was comparing it in my mind to, okay, a standard length MP5, how close, because in my mind, a standard length MP5 is the only one that's ever going to get close to a 10.
Right.
As far as like the
And I have shot post-sample MP5s, and in my opinion, a post-sample MP5 is a 10 out of 10.
That's
there is not a cooler gun to shoot.
Yeah. So I went with, if you're running it semi-auto and this was one of your go-to guns, I still think it's a solid 8 to me. It's you can run it.
All right. Availability. I gave it an 8 out of 10. That might change depending on, hey, how's it going? Depending on future availability from distribution channels and that sort of thing. But every time I've looked for one of these for a customer, it's been in stock. There's been multiple versions of it in stock. Magazines are available. So yeah, I don't have any real issues with it other than KUSA is the only supplier. So if they have an issue or if there's a supply chain issue for them, you're kind of on your own. Parts aren't super available, really, unless you go directly through KUSA. So that's the only reason it got an 8 and not a 9 for me. But as far as availability, it's solid. They're not hard to get a hold of.
Yep. I gave it a 5 for a couple reasons. This kind of came as this was a surrender from another SOT. It's the only way we could transfer it to our license. And I've been looking for parts that I don't agree with some of the things they did to it. And I found that a lot of things are just not available. Currently, they make them, they have them, they're just out of stock, they're using them in production, whatever it is. And a couple different times, because the store owns that, I wanted to buy the civilian version for myself, and the exact model that I want wasn't in stock. So for me, it's proprietary parts, sole distribution channel, and fluctuating, quantity availability. So 5.
Moving into cost, I scored that at 8 as well. I don't know of very many subguns that are decent that cost less than this. And I don't know of very many subguns that shoot as well as this does for that much money. Yep. So an 8 out of 10 is pretty fair, I think. It would score significantly better if it came with a little bit better handguard instead of just the plastic. There's lots of options out there for M-LOK or 1913 style rail handguards for AKs nowadays. The small upcharge that it would add to the gun wouldn't, in my opinion, be enough to not buy it, and it would be a significantly more usable handguard. The grip is fine, the stock is fine. Well, if you buy a regular one of these, it won't have a stock, so you got to take that into consideration. The cost of it, you're going to have to add something to the back end of it. Whether that's a rail adapter, an actual, you're going to form one it and do an actual triangle folder like what's on this, whatever it is you're going to do. It doesn't come with that, so you're going to have to add something to it. So 8 out of 10 I think is fair. It performs very well for the amount of money that they cost. So,
yeah, I gave it a 9 on cost just because if you could find the one you're looking for, which it's going to get better and better. Like Chris said, the mags are cheap and very available. I think retail is just over $1,000 for these.
yeah.
I mean, it's either at or just over $1,000. The torture testing that I've seen done to these things, the reliability that they have right out of the box from KUSA is, I mean, it's tier 1, and you're out and shooting for $1,000. That's to me, that's a lot of value in a sub gun that's high quality.
Yeah, I don't disagree. The most important category, flex factor. Will this make me cooler? Well, we all know the rules of internet flexes. You can't count post samples in your flex. It doesn't count. So as a post sample, this would score a 0 because it doesn't count. But we are not scoring it as a post sample. We're scoring it as a semi-auto commercially available gun. I'm going to put it at a 5. I think it needs a lot of love to get cooler than what it is. You're going to have to do something to the back end. Chances are you're going to want to do something to the fore end. All of that's in the works for this. This is relatively new to us. So there's stuff that you're going to have to change to make it more usable, make it more user-friendly. And quite honestly, out of the box, it doesn't flex very hard. It just doesn't. It's a super cool gun. It's a great value gun, but it's not, I wouldn't say that it's a flex champion.
Yep.
I don't know where you're at on it, but.
I struggled with this one. I ended up at a 7 just because it wouldn't take a lot of money or effort to bring it to that. I mean, maybe you went in at $1,500-$1,600. You're several $100 cheaper than a PTR and an MP5 platform or more, and it's done.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less maintenance. In my mind, it's more reliable because of that. It's straight bullet back. So, 7 light. It's a light 7, but it's a 7 because again,
Like a 6.75.
I mean, you could suppress optic, handguard, and SBR this thing, and you're done and done and done, and you're on $2,000.
Probably under, really.
Yeah, most of the other comparable platforms, you're going to be just getting the thing in your hand and RI-60 it over, and then now all the work, right? Form 1, pieces, parts.
Right.
So, yeah, 7.
There you go. King of Subguns, episode 2, KP-9. Lots more in the works.
Sorry.
Yeah. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, follow us on all of our social media channels. If you haven't already, check out our website. There's lots of cool stuff out there to check out and to look at. Share the video around, that helps. We're trying to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark because apparently that helps somehow on YouTube. I'm not sure of how the analytics works. We're not going to go into that, but create fake accounts and subscribe to us so that we get more views. Have a good one. See ya.
See you guys. Thanks.
Fluid AR movement, shell eject next, and we back grooving precise.